much for hosting me here. Your platform is a very famous one, and I am absolutely honored to be here. Second, I wanted to just say how delightful it is to come back to, some form of normalcy where we can be humans again and be able to interact not through Zoom and not hiding, behind our screens, but actually in the most natural way we as humans tend to relate and learn, play, work, and do all the human things that we have. So to see all these people from all around the world here in JITEX takes me back to the times where things made sense, and I'm delighted to be back here. When it comes to Safe Security, as you may already know, Shireen, Safe is a startup in the Silicon Valley. It's a pioneer in a new area called cyber risk quantification, which is all around enabling organizations to understand their risk posture at an atomic level in a real-time fashion, and be able to really give you insightful information about your risk posture at an atomic level, and give you the dollar value of that risk. So as such, we have very solid presence in Americas and also a very successful operation in Asia. But in EMEA, we've just entered the market a couple of months ago, and we've been really focused on building the team and the partnerships and creating the proper awareness within mission critical infrastructure around the need to embrace cyber risk quantification as a mechanism to insert risk and make risk be part of business decision making on a daily basis, and simplify that integration of risk into that business decision making. As such, JITEX has continued the past couple of decades its eloquence as a platinum platform for that awareness around disruptive ideas, disruptive technologies, and be the place where you ink those relationships, with partners and customers. So for Safe, this is really a monumental opportunity to be here, specifically with our debut and our short tenure in EMEA. And as such, we have actually a very rich calendar of events, first using organizations, partnering with organizations like you to create that awareness around cyber risk quantification and introduce our brand. The second is sign, marquee relationships like with Starlink, who's our platinum cybersecurity distributor in the region, and obviously foster relationships with some marquee consultants like Accenture and Deloitte and global SIs and like Infosys and others. So this is basically the platform for us to get all of that. And why does it really work? Because while many people attend JITEX to learn about what's going on, the really clever ones attending, they're looking for new things, new ways to really disrupt the market and create some good. And this is where like-minded people meet. Yeah, it's a very good question. To answer that question, we need to take a step back and understand how the world is changing. During COVID, we've seen, massive, pace of digital acceleration. When you take a look at studies by McKinsey and Accenture and others, they talk about 5 to 7 years of, increased acceleration of digital uptake. What does that really mean? Organizations today, when we take a look at their taxonomy, they have front end and back end. You have the front end, which is kind of focused on customer acquisition, customer retention, all the systems, all the processes that do that. And then the back end, which govern their business models, their policies and procedures that fundamentally makes them either easy to do business with or or difficult to do business with. A lot of these moving parts of the organization have been really technology enabled. That's what digital acceleration is all about. And specifically during COVID, organizations couldn't get to their data centers. So therefore, even with their aversion of cloud computing and SaaS, they've actually found themselves at a place where they have no other alternatives. And accordingly, what remains of organizations moving forward over the next 1 or 2 years is their brand name. The underpinning infrastructure becomes very internet centric. With internet comes the kind of that bipolar thing. The one side, it's hey, it's fast, it's flexible. On the other side, it's risk. I'm 1 or 2 breaches away from getting wiped out. So if we put that and we apply that into sectors, you have the fintech revolution, correct? Or banks are becoming an old thing. We don't really care about banks. We care about the banking experience. So if you take a look at open banking and open finance, where organizations and consumers will have digital platforms to be able to kind of bring all their banking relationships, their insurance relationships, their mortgage relationships, everything that has to do with their financial management, including the way you give stipends to your kids and pay your schooling fees and all that, will come into one place. That's very disruptive. So those types of open digital banking platforms and their security, blockchain and cyber risk quantification become very hot. If we take a look at utilities, smart metering, the security of OT, the digitization of OT, that will bring incredible amount of focus on IoT and cyber risk quantification from that. If you take a look at what's happening with manufacturing, regardless of the manufacturing in the retail space, you will find incredible amount of automation, applied. And with that comes actually the need to manage cyber risk, because those are very sensitive, verticals. So digital transformation will drive, lots of innovation in the core industries, but with that, it will drive incredible amount of innovation in the way you secure these industries. And cyber risk quantification will be a blanket by which organizations understand that risk companionship. I need to manage my business, but I need to manage that risk, and that balance leads to you being able to thrive and, more importantly, survive in the digital economy. And this is kind of the outlook that I really see. Yeah, so given our debut, and we're a very small startup with big ambitions, we basically, our first relationship is been signed with Starlink. So they're there to help us represent the brand and drive our vision and our mission as a company that's really passionate about creating a safer digital future for people and for organizations. The reason why it works with Starlink is because they're really passionate about helping organizations, secure themselves in a better way, specifically with digital transformation. So given this partnership, we've opted to really locate, safe within the stand of Starlink, and our entire team, our marketing team, our sales team, our technology team is there for the rest of GITEX to really interact with customers and partners and create that awareness and that